This is Professor Michael Chapman. I'm one of the most experienced IVF doctors in Australia. I believe that an important part that I can contribute is to educate patients in relation to fertility, infertility, and all that involves. These series of podcasts help to educate you. I hope they are helpful to you. If you wish to know more, however, I'm more than happy to have you contact me via email, which is profmchapman@gmail.com, or make an appointment to see me on 9138 4222.
Prof, we have Kimberly live with us, and she says, "Nice to see you again, Prof. Looking to start again soon. I've lost a significant amount of weight and prolactin back in normal range. Would this work in my favor? Maybe you might want to mention how she can get in touch with you as well."
Okay. Hi, Kimberly. So weight loss, fantastic. Yeah, no, there is a good correlation between weight and success with IVF. Women who move from, let's say, 100 plus kilos back into the 70s are doing themselves a huge favor in terms of helping themselves to achieve a pregnancy. So if that's what you've done, congratulations, because it's not easy. That's important. So, when I see patients who are overweight, I encourage weight loss, but I'm unfortunately not seeing much success in women losing weight. Now, the recent medications, the Ozempics, and there are now 2 or 3 other ones on the market, do seem to help. The advice at the moment, however, is that these drugs probably shouldn't be used while we're doing IVF itself. But if you use them to lose weight with a plan, let's say to do IVF in 3 to 6 months' time, there is some value in that. And I've certainly had a couple of patients who, using those drugs, have come back and conceived subsequently. So weight, it is important, and getting back into the normal range is going to be helpful. In terms of prolactin, it really depends on the severity of the problem with the prolactin. The normal range for prolactin is up to, the numbers we use are up to around about 600 international units. And once you get above that, up to around about 1,000, it probably doesn't make much difference. It's out of the normal range, but whether it affects ovulation is widely debated. And if you still have regular periods despite that slight elevation, it probably is not having an impact. Those levels are most commonly caused by 2 things. One is stress. Stress increases prolactin levels. And secondly, in polycystic ovarian disease, there is an association with elevated prolactin levels, albeit not to the high levels. Once you get over 1,000, we are concerned that this is coming from a tiny little tumor in the brain, in the pituitary gland where prolactin is produced, called a prolactinoma. Now, that's not common. It's not a malignant tumor. There's nothing nasty about it. But those levels of over 1,000 can interfere and switch off the hormones that produce ovulation. So these women usually have irregular or absent periods. And in fact, when we get a woman whose periods have stopped, one of the investigations is to measure her prolactin. And if that's elevated, we do a MRI scan of her pituitary to see if there's any sign of an adenoma. Medical treatment works in the vast majority of those cases. So I'm pleased to hear the prolactin levels down, but even more pleased that you've lost some weight. And I look forward, Kimberly, to see you. You may be aware that I've moved from IVF Australia to our own clinic called Life Fertility Sydney in Potts Point. I'm still seeing patients in Cogra, but at 52 Montgomery Street.
I've been on Wegovy/Ozempic for almost 6 months, and I've lost 20 kg since April 2023. I've been told it's not pregnancy compatible and using precaution as a result. My levels were over 1,000 when it was first discovered, and they found a microadenoma. Currently doing...
What's her prolactin level now? Did she tell us that?
She said her levels were over 1,000 when it was first discovered and found a microadenoma, but hasn't said what the current levels are.
Well, I mean, if we found that, we'd probably put her on medication, probably Cabergoline, and that in 99.9% of cases reduces it to a normal level. I'd probably take her off the medication, although that medication is safe in pregnancy. As she says, Ozempic is unproven in terms of its impact in pregnancy. Increasingly, I think, because so many women are on it and so many people get pregnant, I would have thought by now, after it's been around for 5 to 10 years, we would have been getting reports of abnormalities or problems if there really was such in pregnancy. We're still advising not to, and we certainly would stop it for an IVF cycle.
Prof, Kimberly came back with her levels. She says they were 246, I think, as of a month ago.
Yeah,
I've
fantastic.
been on Cabergoline for over 30 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Endocrinologist has reduced the dose now. It's not in normal range.
Yeah. Very often these microadenomas burn out, and therefore your levels are normal. You don't need to take medication. However, once you are pregnant, I'm sure they'll be watching to see that there isn't a regrowth of the pituitary tumor, and in fact, pregnancy stimulates that to get bigger. So they'll be watching for that. Yeah, because in pregnancy, prolactin levels do rise because it's preparing for breastfeeding. I mean, it's a physiological event, but that process of growth can produce increase in the size of that adenoma. They'll be looking for it.
And don't forget that you can access all the previous episodes by going to our website www.theivfjourney.com and select IVF Journey podcast from the navigation menu.